Hey, I guess this is the first video I'm gonna post. So, welcome to a live of Whimsy. The reason why it's called live of Whimsy is because whimsicality is and this has been my gamer tag since I was a kid. So yeah, maybe if I have time, I'll make another video about that. But yeah, today I wanted to make this video because I feel very overwhelmed, and as guys, we don't really have a lot of ways to let out, from what I have noticed at least. So I've been going through a very tough time, specifically mentally. I found out that the girl that I was um, hoping to end up with had cheated on me multiple times, and I mean it took a big mental hit, but it also made me very self-aware, and it built a lot of empathy. But with that came a lot of mental turmoil. So the thing is, I did not want to hate her, okay, because what we shared, at least for me, it was real. Okay, so I never, like, even now, I don't hate her. I hate what she did, but I don't hate her. And now, so I like to see the good in everybody. I would like to assume everyone, can change, and which is why I don't want to hate anybody. But this feeling of resentment, it has been brewing, and it is something that I cannot stop. I'm trying to stop it from, building out, but I just can't. I moved to another city. I'm not at home, not with my family. When I moved here, I moved with a comfortable pay. So I just graduated, and I got my first job, which pays really comfortably. It helps me live fairly comfortably, although it doesn't look like it. I know my living situation doesn't look the best, but I do make a comfortable living. So money has never been an issue for me, at least now. So now I have the money to spend, go out with people, go out with friends. But now, since I'm in a new city, I don't have a lot of friends here. Very few friends that I have. Um, I mean, we don't really get a lot of time to spend together. One thing that I've noticed is in relationships, you need to be 50-50. Okay, I know it sounds it sounds insensitive to assume that it should always be 50-50, but to a large extent, I believe the effort should be 50-50. So, lately, what I have been doing is, if I feel disrespected, or if I had friends who did not um, appreciate the efforts I put, or did not put efforts in the relationship to maintain our friendships, I would cut them off, because I felt betrayed. Okay, I felt like I was valuing the relationship and they weren't, and I wasn't cutting them off like straight up, because I do believe that everyone should be. You should communicate your feelings with people. You should understand what they are going through. Everyone is different. The shtick. But I don't think we should let that take over your peace. So what I noticed was that, so what I did was, is whenever I felt this way, I would communicate to my friends, okay, I feel like, I'm putting more effort in this relationship than you are, that I feel you do not value the relationship as much as I do. And if at all you value the relationship as much as I do, I would like you to put in a little more effort, because I will not moving forward for a while until I can also feel that we value the relationship. It's not just me who values it. And doing this, it led me to cut off a lot of my friends, and I was left with a very small circle. But now, the thing was, earlier this was easy because I had my girlfriend at the time, and I thought we were solid, and I would always have her at least. But now I don't. Okay, and cutting off people is not easy. Okay, prioritizing your peace is not easy. Now, it's because of cutting people off who I felt were weighing on my peace. I'm left with a very handful of friends. Okay, and I do believe that as you grow older, your friend circles, they do become smaller and smaller and smaller. But what I don't like is how quickly that happens and you don't realize it. Currently, I would say best friend like ever, probably just like one, two, like very very tight friends, one or two. And this used to be a much larger number growing up, and it's humbling. I'm 24, and I have like barely any friends left. I have a lot of acquaintances. Okay, I'm not going to act like I don't have anybody in my life. Okay, I have a lot of acquaintances. I'll have a lot of friends also, but I'd say people who I'm really close to, I don't have a lot of those. Secondly, I also feel like when you grow older, you start wondering if you start realizing that you might. Okay, so this is something I told my dad when he told me, you're putting a lot of effort. You will get through whatever you're trying. And I told him, effort does not guarantee success. And it's the same with the relationships. Because just because you put someone at a pedestal, just because you value someone to a certain extent or at a certain level, okay, you treat them as your go-to, your best friend. It is not necessary that they feel the same for you. That is something I learned the hard way. As in, I had to learn it myself, and this is something I didn't like. This is not knowledge that I wanted to have. Okay. And this came because the guy my girlfriend that I cheated on me with. So I went and spoke to my close friend group, saying, this guy, whatever he did, what he did. And they were talking about how, he is, a terrible guy. He was trying to, cling on to a few of their friends. He was trying to be, clingy with this person, that person. He's a terrible guy. Okay, I never liked him. They never liked him. Okay, all of that, the whole day. And now, recently, I saw a video. I saw a photo that my friends posted. Okay, with him. And this got me thinking. Do we all say things just for the sake of it? Or do we really mean what we speak? Okay, what is the... Wait one second. Do we value the things we say? Or is it just in the moment to comfort people? I honestly try to be as real as possible whenever I speak to my friends. I will not lie to their face about serious stuff. If I don't like somebody, I don't like them. If I like somebody and the group doesn't like him, I will still say that I like that person. Okay? I try to be as honest as I can. This felt dishonest. Okay? This felt extremely dishonest. Okay? From the friends who posted, I spoke to one of them. I asked him, I saw that he posted him. I try to fool around a little bit, we try to joke about it. And to give you a gist, she replied saying that, I knew you would judge me. So this got me thinking. She knew I would not like it. Yet she posted that picture without even, see, honestly, she's very close. At least I considered her to be close. I don't know if she considers me to be close, but yeah, I consider her to be a close friend of mine. But to know that something will bother somebody and you post it anyway, or you don't have the courtesy to hide it from your friend, considering how traumatizing that event was, that is kind of not very good. And this got me thinking further. So I have this friend of mine who has been there for me now for the past couple of months, um, who I who I really care for now. So I asked her for her opinion, and she told me ki, everyone has free will. Everyone is free to choose what they do and what they don't. Everyone is free to hang out with whoever they want and whoever they don't. Now, I do understand. I mean, this is what she said. Okay, I do understand कि they did this without the intention of hurting you. Okay, but what you are feeling is also valid, and I completely agree with that. Whatever I'm feeling is my feelings. No one should have to walk on eggshells because of me. But at the same time, I also should be open. I mean, I should be able to protect my peace. So what I did was, I muted most of my friends, any person who could potentially post about my girlfriend, I mean ex-girlfriend, or my um, that guy who she cheated with. So I've cut them all off from my feed, and this led me to the realization that now I have no friends, which is crazy. I had like two. Now after I met that friend of mine recently, it's three. One of them I can't speak with. Okay, and I think that she's gonna like leave as well. The remaining two, I don't know. Let's see how long this lasts. Considering we're growing old. Yeah, so it got me thinking that what if today was the last day and I ended all tonight? What would I do? And this wave of peace came upon me. Oh, fuck. See, every time, man, like I don't know what it is, but every time I think about, you know, um, um, the finish line. Okay, I don't want this video to get taken down, so I'm going to say the finish line. It gives me a lot of peace. Just knowing ki that's it. And I don't know. I just find it. You know how people who go through with it are happiest like a day before, a week before. I see that. I see why. Because they know okay, it's all going to, end soon, and they don't have to worry about anything. They can do what they want. They can focus on the good parts of whatever is left, and they're done. A week later, everything ends, and maybe I don't want to, but so what I've been doing is I've been trying to channel everything into my gym stuff, but I'm a very social person. I believe all humans are social, and I hate being not around people. I'm saying this out loud because there's a lot of stigma around guys being able to talk about what they're feeling, and also what, this is something people don't understand. See, if you're a girl, this is from my experience. Okay, I like to point this out. My sample size is one. Okay, one. This is my personal experience. Women have a lot more people who they can go to whenever they're feeling a certain way. So, and I believe that women also have people who are there to listen to them, not simply because they have like friends who are listening, but also people who are interested in them. They would also lend them an ear. Okay, so like I had this time very early on where I had this girl who I really liked. Like, I was in love with her, and she knew I loved her. And she would always talk to me about her feelings all the time. And the day I told her, I feel like I'm putting more effort in, okay, and you are not trying to text back. You never text first, you never text back on time. You're, dry ass responses until you want to talk about your feelings. when I confronted her about that, her response was, I knew this day would come, and she never tried to reach out after that. So because girls, I feel they have a lot more access to people who would listen to them, and guys don't. So I remember the first time I had this, wave of emotions coming in, where I wanted to cross the finish line. I was trying to reach out to people. Okay, so the best friend of mine, who I used to consider my best friend, back in college, she didn't answer. We had this. So there is this saying that says, "Ki all it takes is 8 minutes to change, to give someone, um, what's the word I'm looking for? To give someone peace, okay, or to give someone comfort, okay." So we had this thing where no matter what we're going through, if we ever send the other person a text saying, "Ki I need 8 minutes," we would always text back as soon as we see the message. Not only did she not reply to my message, she also ignored it. She started talking about something else weeks after I sent that text. So yeah, and I've been there for her whenever she needed me. She's been there for me. I'm not going to be ungrateful. But ever since we moved to different cities, it's now just gone. Poof. But yeah, anyway, so I tried reaching out, did not answer. Talking to guys is a little odd to me about stuff like this. So I'd not reach out to my guy friends at all, because I just feel odd to speak about stuff like this to a guy. I tried reaching out to a few of my other friends. None of them cared to answer. So there I was, all alone. And what I feel, this is a good way to let things out, because now I'm seeing a guy on my screen. I know this guy's me, okay, but I don't need to think that you are me. I can just assume I'm talking to somebody and talk about my feelings. Open up. And I don't know if this video will reach anybody. I don't know if anyone will watch this. Okay, but if you're going through something, I want you to know that hopefully it gets better. Hopefully things work out. But what I have been following for the past few months is depression can't hit a moving target. So do as much as you can. Make your weeks as fulfilling as you can. Try to fill your days with substance. And a rule that I follow is, when you're sad, don't drink. When you're sad, don't smoke. Because that creates a classical conditioning where if you're sad, you start smoking. Wherever you're sad, you start drinking. This leads to addiction. So I want to pray for the wellness for everybody. I want to pray on the success for everybody. Hopefully I make it to another video, because today is oddly extremely overwhelming. I've never felt this overwhelmed in a while, and I don't know what to do about it, but hopefully I make another video. See you.